Wow. Listen.
Shameless plug to the homies.
Put it down. Put it down.
Yeah, give it.
Hey, find out this what.
Put it down.
Fired Up Broadcasting. JD and Kai show. 3 minutes. We'll be up in there. Thank you, Janice. Love you. Queen.
Wayne. Tranny.
Yo, I'm gonna beat him up.
Look,
You know.
since you said that,
If you know JD, you know
you put it in my head.
He ain't make no type of sense.
You're getting all
All
these
right, y'all.
jokes. Stop
Love
playing.
y'all. Peace.
I make all the sense. Ain't that's an Ice Cube. I make all the sense.
No, let me saying that to her. She's like a grown-up human.
Well, let her be grown. She grown. Anyway, we're arguing on air. Wait, what just happened? Something just happened to my mic.
We're not on. We're live.
Yeah,
It's
we're
6:28.
But I heard like a thump, and then it went
You
away.
guys are lying.
Can you hear that? Thank you guys for joining, as always. We're doing a little bit of a sound test right now.
Ow.
Can you listen real quick? Almost on your phone.
There's a little bit of static.
No, I'm not going to continue the show. I actually just heard it change in my headphones. Like I heard a thump, and then I heard it like I feel like I'm in a hole now.
Good, man.
It sounds good. All right, I'll take your word for it.
Take it away, JD. Man.
Did we turn off the AC?
Yes, let's turn off that AC.
Here, but feel free.
I heard a thump.
So as always, share the link. We have the entire immediate the immediate family of Kai is literally in the building.
Ow.
And I'm extremely excited.
Lit.
I finally got to meet the Marquezes.
Martinez Marquez.
I like to say Marquez. So whoever's the Marquez, you're getting that one because it's fun to say. And it's too much. It's so much effort to say the Marquez. I can't get to the Martinez.
Oh, you just roll your
Right,
R's. Come
right.
on, Anna.
I'm trying.
Been training you.
And that's on camera right now, off cue. Is Chris Martinez and Elisa Martinez. Give them a round of applause. They've also been here too. They're going to be hanging out with us and chatting with us about all the things that we chat about, which is going to be a bunch of madness today because we just own one. We really just in here just talking.
So I shared it on my. I'm talking to them. I shared it on my Facebook. Y'all feel free to share it on your thing. Reshare.
Wow, she's giving instructions.
I'm giving instructions
on the air.
What's up?
To her
What's
family.
going on?
Yes.
We are here.
How are you? Family's
Man.
in town. How's everything?
It's been great.
Right?
It really has been great. I cannot lie. It's been so much
You
fun.
look
I was
happy.
tired. Yes, I was tired today. I'm not gonna lie. My
know-
mom made me walk 7 miles.
When was the when's
7
the last time they visited?
When was the last time you did it? Like 2019?
Yeah.
2019 before the pandemic.
I think I saw the photo that Chris posted.
I hear somebody volume. I hear echo.
I saw the post that Chris posted with all of you guys together, and I felt really warm for you. Like I felt like, oh, I'm so happy she has family here, and like it just felt
Thank you for pitying me.
No, it just felt like I know the love of family.
Yes.
And I know when you're out here struggling and you're out here fighting and you're doing it, and just to see that love, like I felt good.
Yes.
I felt like, oh, look at Kai, like and just embraced in love. I just feel like, and I felt good about it.
And that's how it feels. It feels,
Right.
grateful. If you guys follow the show, I moved recently. And I have my own space now. So to be able to have, and I've been kind of living on my own again, which is nice. And that's been really nice. But also to be able to like be with family and to have, again, my brother out here. He's never visited me out here, actually.
Wow.
So to have him out here and then my niece for the first time, who's also very talented. And then to be able to kind of show them the ropes and also show them just the lifestyle out here.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and put him on the spot now.
Right.
Chris, why exactly have you not made the visit to see your beautiful sister here? I'm just curious.
Man, I had a right to be nervous.
Right. Just what do we got there, Dunder Mifflin? What are we feeling?
Well,
I have. Can we get him some water?
What had happened was
I've got 3 kids, and the way my paycheck is set up,
Okay. All right.
all 4 of us out here, But we're happy to be out here celebrating my daughter's 15th birthday.
Quinceañera.
Right. Congratulations. Wait, where's my horns? I know. It didn't go the first time. How do you? Wow, really? Do we say happy quinceañera? Or what do you say? Congratulations.
Mom, what do you say? No, la quinceañera.
Feliz
Do you say anything like happy quinceañera? Did you just say happy quinceañera? Happy quinceañera.
Really? That's what it said?
Listen, I literally was in between this conversation right now, and Kai's mom's look is just. It was like, it's intimidating. I was like, just stop it. She's mad. She's stop. Don't ask no more questions, Kai. I see where she gets it from.
Right, because I be giving you that same.
That look was serious and firm, but nice, all at the same time.
That's the look I give JD all the time.
Right. So, all right, let's go back to Chris because I'm leaving your mom alone. She's in the building. So, but no, we're so happy to have you guys here, Chris. And I guess the question is, what do you want to do the most that you're here? Because we're trying to put her on the spot. What is there? Is there one thing that you really want to do now that you're in LA?
Man, so my sister's done an incredible job. We both love music,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all we've done.
Right.
That's all we've done. Been surrounded by it, meeting some great people. The weather here, okay. If you've never been here,
Right.
Oh my God, the weather here and the food and the culture and the vibe is just completely different from what I'm used to, and we're loving it.
Right.
Yeah, they're coming out here from
And
Georgia.
From Georgia. Oh, so
Yeah.
you're in the South. All right.
Mhm.
Well, I know exactly what you're going through then. Like, so, but how long have you been in Georgia? I'm asking questions that maybe our audience
No,
don't
yeah.
know. This is
That's
my first
great.
time actually getting to meet Chris, so I'm actually like, hey, what's going on, man?
It's y'all Facebook friends, so
Right.
now it's real.
Right.
We've been in Georgia for 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
And that's from New York, right?
Yep.
That's a completely different world. Did you visit him in Georgia? Oh,
Yes.
Oh, so you visited him and he
Yes.
still hasn't? Okay.
Well,
What's
my
up?
parents moved down there, and plus he has the kids, so
Gotcha. True.
it's easier for me to go where they're at as opposed
Okay.
to them to come.
True. No more shaming, Chris.
For now.
But yeah, no. So, but I've noticed I'm from the South, so it's a lot more traditional and it's not as progressive. So I feel like just being in LA is a completely different situation, right?
Right.
Do you feel that, or what do you feel that's different since you've been here?
Aside from the weather, yeah. Well, what we really love is the vibe out here.
Yeah.
One thing that's very unique is that I can tell that everybody that likes to do creative things comes out here and connects with other people that like to do creative things, and it's infectious.
Right.
You know.
Right. What about you, Lee? As a young sprite,
Yeah.
15-year-old.
Can we zoom in on those eyes? Lily's gonna be trouble. What is the plan for us to stop her from having any contact with men until she's 40? I'm one of those kind of dads.
Right. Where's the shotgun?
Can't
Where's the
date till you're
shotgun?
50.
Right.
So
For me, it's like, it's crazy because like in Georgia, everyone is the same. Like there's no, like it's very hard not to like stand out, but to find someone unique, you know?
right.
So like coming here when everyone is like doing what they love and constantly pursuing it and helping others pursue it, it's crazy.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's
That's-
such a positive thing here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because in the South, it's very traditional. You literally do kind of what your parents did. You do what
Yeah.
your mom did, and that's what you know to be right, and that's what you
Right.
do. And I think there's a place for it. I think there's a respect for it, but I also think you have to be progressive. You have to be able to have your
Right.
new memories and new moments and new emotions, and actually be able to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only danger of the South. And see, my mic just changed again. So anyway, I'm glad you guys are here. She's also going to do a performance later,
Yeah.
which we are so excited about. We have our new performance stage over there.
I know. She goes, oh my God, I was going to say something, the word in Spanish, but she's going to estrenarlo.
Estrenado.
Estrenarlo. Estrenarlo.
So
She's going to test it out for the first time.
Right. So before we go anywhere else, we're gonna. Almost is actually sitting right here.
Right.
So Almost, shout out Almost from the
Shout
Friday
out
Thursday
Almost.
show.
We love
And
him.
he actually asked us the question that they talked about on their show today, which was, is there a right time, or is it okay? When is it okay for men to cry? Right? Is that it?
Right.
When is it okay for men to cry? Chris, what you got?
I was like, please not first. Please not first. I mean,
Would you say you're a crier first? Let's start there. Are you a crier?
it depends. Yeah, I'll admit it.
Okay.
But it depends. It really depends. I don't like to hold on to all that because I'm afraid like I'll grow a tumor somewhere.
Right.
So I just, if I feel it, I just feel it in the moment.
So are you a commercial crier, or just it's a tough day crier, or just show your emotions crier?
The C.
See? Show your
all
emotions
the
crier.
above? All of the above, actually. All of the above.
Have you seen him cry growing up?
Yes. I just saw him cry yesterday. I mean,
No.
What happened?
It's tough out in these streets.
Can we get that story, Chris? What happened? Can we know?
Well, the thing is that we just my sister's working on a movie, and just to see her, I've known her whole life. Right?
See, I know where this is going already.
So just to see what she's doing, and the belief in herself and the people she's growing around, it was very a very emotional moment. I'm so proud of her and what she's doing.
That is an acceptable time to cry, Chris. That is that's beautiful because that's a very special moment, and I can see you felt that, and that's beautiful. So
right,
I'll give you more horns on that. More horns on that.
right, good one.
Look, he's tearing up.
Thank you.
Right?
No, I'm not tearing. Not here. No,
Right, right.
So according to the list that Almost just gave me, these are acceptable times to cry.
Oh,
All right,
list.
we have a list. All right, and they're all good. So when you hear them, you'll be like, that is a good one. All right. So the death of a loved one is an acceptable man cry. Now we're talking about you can cry anytime you want. You can always be emotional. I'm an emotional guy. I'm not so much of a crier. But the question is when you cry and it's still kind of attractive as a man, right? Because because I'm sorry, I was getting gestures because literally if you're on a date, right? And
just walk in front of the screen. Almost, you just walk in front of the screen.
It's one of those days. It's one of those days. But anyway, the question so if you say on a date with a girl and you're sitting next to her and a commercial comes on, I keep using commercial because that one's the most funny.
During some commercials.
I was telling Almost that women can do that and it's fine. It's like, oh, she's sad. But if a man does it, it's like, whoa.
Right. I would look at him a little like,
whoa. You have some emotional problems.
is it a sign of weakness in the sense of
it's not.
Can you be okay, I'll give you an example. So this is a gentleman that I was talking to.
So I'm gonna be
this
you.
guy
Are you changing? Oh, he got it.
Okay. This guy I was talking to, whatever. And he was always very emotionally stable, very solid as a guy, right? And I'm always like, right. A mess. I'm always a mess, right? So one day he calls me. He was like, hey, I was crying last night and I wanted to call you and this and that. And I was like, I froze. And I was like, whoa, I wouldn't know what to do if he started crying in front of me.
Wow. But what was it about? Was it at least?
I mean, yeah, it was something emotional to him. Yeah. It was emotional, but it was just because he hadn't shown that vulnerability.
Oh,
and we talked about this before.
We did. So that's definitely another step, and we'll probably get there after. But I'm just saying that moment where it really would throw you. That was you just asshole on that.
No.
that was an asshole. If he had a moment and he cried, but if he literally cried at a commercial, the commercial that you cried on,
right?
You would literally judge him you need to get your
no.
emotions
I
in
think
check.
I think it's when you show your vulnerability. If you show your vulnerability from the beginning, there's another guy that I know that's from jump. He's like, yo, I'm an emotional person. I already anticipate that we'll both cry because I'm a crier too. But if you've shown this solid as a rock person and all of a sudden you're crying, I'm a little thrown off.
This is the judgment that we're discussing right now, people, is how to not be judged if you cry. So, all right, second one, we did one is death of the family. The other one is death of a beloved pet. Maybe.
Yeah. Pet.
I'm on the fence on that one, but I can see it. Right? If little Fido died and it was
Bubbles.
it was oh no, Fido.
But now does it depend what kind of dog? If it's a little Chihuahua versus a pit bull.
You should love any dog. All right.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go with those two, Elisa. If you were dating a guy, which you can't until you're 50, but let's say just if you were, when is it acceptable for him to cry for you? Would you feel weird if he cried?
Well, I think it'd be a little more awkward if he just never did cry because, again, if they don't show that, it just feels I don't know, one-sided. If you're showing, your vulnerable side, all your emotions, and you just get, a brick wall, it's going to be a little awkward.
Yeah.
But then again, they're just people, so, I don't...
Exactly.
They're just people, too. Yeah.
Those are words to live by. That's Lily, right?
That's Lily, yeah.
I like Lily. I'm going with Lily. Words of Lily. We're all just people.
They're just people.
We're all just people.
Men, yeah, those things, they're people too.
People that you can't date till you're 50. Anyway, so 3 is when they see their new life created for the first time. So a birth of a child, a birth of at the birth, that's a good time to cry.
I have a question
Mhm.
for the fathers in the building. Almost, are you dead? No, you're not dead.
No.
Okay.
He should be though.
So
He's
for the
old.
right, he could
I don't know, I
could
don't
be. He could be. I
Somebody-
don't know.
Somebody got an illegitimate child out there somewhere.
Okay, as fathers,
Mhm.
have you found that you've gotten a little bit become more of a crier after your children were born?
I'm gonna let the guest answer that first.
Yeah,
Chris,
go ahead.
Chris, go ahead, go first.
Maddie first.
Can we get Dad on the mic?
Yeah, we could get
Why
Dad.
don't you walk around? We can actually slide a mic over.
He
to
could give us the yes or no.
you. Right.
So daughters do soften you, right?
Daughters, okay.
Yeah, daughters. My son, I have a special relationship with him too. But when like my daughters ask me for something, like, Dad, can I please get aloe water? And I'm like, here's two. I didn't know what flavor you wanted.
Yeah, let's first of all, let's talk
feel
about
that.
the fact that you look 12. And you got 3 kids. I'm not gonna ask your age. We're not gonna go there. But you look great. Let's just say you look great for
Thanks,
your age.
man. Thanks.
Right?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, him and Kai have the same gene.
We're both,
they're 20,
I'm
25
21,
forever.
he's 25.
25 forever. All right, Dad, what was your answer? Did you come softer after this one or
Did
that
you-
one?
Yeah.
Yes.
For that one. Let's be clear.
Yeah. Was it tough? Was it tough for you, Chris? How was it different?
It was different. But because anytime I had to do something, it would be like I always got the look, but when Katie got it, it was like a little. It was just a little twinkle there. An example today. We're not allowed to wear shoes in the house, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Someone made it all the way to the couch.
Snitching.
It wasn't me. It was Addie.
My dad.
My dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so
I
your
reversed it.
house. Oh, okay.
I'm
I got it.
reversing it.
Okay,
I got to reverse the spoil.
That's because she got the spoiled. So
Yeah.
for me, I don't feel like I changed. Actually, fuel. Did you get softer on the spot? Do you feel like you got more
Have you
emotional
gotten softer
as a parent?
Like, do you cry more as a parent?
For my daughter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Phil's a crier. We already went through this with cry.
Yeah.
Like, cause I almost asked the question, and Phil was like, "Well, I feel that if you connected to your emotions, you're not." And I was like, "Just say you're a crier.
It went all like that.
Just say you're a
Right.
I
crier."
felt you, man.
So I honestly, I
Fuel
feel
has shed a tear listening to Jodeci
like
after a breakup. He has
Yeah.
shed a tear or
You'll
two.
be out here crying on Care Bears by yourself. I just care so much. I can't say I got softer. I think my relationship with my parents got better, and so I became more emotional and more appreciative, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but not so much in a crying way. Like, my dad passed away in 2015, and I feel like Anna's a lot like my mom, and I feel like he is the perfect person for me to talk to, and I can't. So it's like I'm at that moment where I'm like, I get it. I see, and I feel like I'm more appreciative to things, which kind of makes me more emotional.
Right.
But it's not in a crying way. I guess I just feel happy, like, oh, that's cool. Like,
Mhm.
I get it now. Like, oh, this is why we respect elders, because they've been through some shit.
Right. They have been doing a little
They've
bit.
been through some
Yeah.
things. So anyway, let's go to the next one. That was for your question. Oh, another question for you, Mr. Chris.
All right.
So you have sons, right? Do you feel like you parent different based on their gender?
No, I parent different based on their personality, like what they need,
Got it. Yeah.
and what they bring to the table.
I don't know.
Oh,
Lily
God.
Lily has
No.
Lily has something
I
to
know.
say.
No.
You're supposed to be on my side, girl.
She's like, no, I'm the one being wrong.
Right. It's like, let me say
I
something.
don't think it's on like the gender, but like the age. So like growing up, I'm the oldest, and my little brother is 2 years younger than me,
Yeah.
and so we did this thing where I had to do the kitchen every day, right?
Oh, here it comes.
So,
the juicy
I was
tea.
unloading the dishwasher.
Chores.
Sexist.
Yo,
Sexist.
she been holding on to this chore resentment forever.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Chris
And
is
so, like,
I
I'll be
hate
like-
LA.
Bye, y'all.
Well-
Bye. We're gonna talk about this later.
Yeah, so I was like loading the dishwasher, and then Johnny comes over, and his arm is like bent, and he's like, "No, I can't reach." And so then I have to do everything, and it just stayed like that. So every time I'd be like, "Can Johnny do it?" He was like, "No, you have to. We can't reach." And it's been like 2 years, and he's still not loading, and
Yeah.
so
I don't know. I may be on Chris's side on that one. That may just be because you're older. He trusts you more. So
Right.
that may be the
Right.
older thing.
You guys know what the dishes look like when your kid washes it.
Right.
Like it's still greasy.
Right. No, like a whole piece of chicken on the fork still.
Okay.
This is not clean. What do you mean? I remember stabbing this piece of chicken last night and it's still there. I
But
didn't even look at it.
it wasn't even the cleaning part. It was just lifting it up in the little
In the
cabinet.
thing,
And he couldn't, his arm was big.
So she's doubling down that you're an
Man.
asshole.
So she's actually driving that
She's
point
doubling
home.
it down. And the only reason I asked that is because of the conversation. And I think it's okay. Like we usually teach our daughters, it's okay to feed on your emotions. Just feed on your emotions. Oh, I'll pat you up. And for a man, it's like, stop it, stand up, quit it, stop it.
Right.
Right. And it teaches us to control our emotions. And I think that's the only difference in how we are raised. So I think it's up to us as parents to kind of break these cycles of, what men and women can't do. Although this whole dress thing is bothering me and doll thing. I don't know why.
Men wearing dresses?
Yeah, so
boys wearing dresses?
There are parents, yes, they let their boys wear dresses and kind of play with like girly dolls, like because they're trying to break that cycle. What do you feel about that? Because I don't know I've seen little boys carrying
I used to play with
baby
X-Men.
dolls.
I used to play with X-Men, and I used to play with like me and my brother. We used to play like instead of playing with Barbie dolls, I would play with like Wolverine was married with Little Mermaid.
Right.
but that didn't change my like that. And that's something I feel like that has not impacted my sexuality.
But it was obviously it was his toys, right?
Yeah, but
Right.
I growing up though, I was very much a tomboy. I loved like we would be like Sub-Zero and Scorpion,
Right.
like like we watched Thundercats, and we
That's
were
dope.
like, I was such I
Snarf.
yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that actually recently. Like when we would go to the family functions and stuff, my mom would be in the house with all the women talking and
Right.
cooking. I was never in there.
Right.
I was always playing soccer with all the guys,
I
my
can see that.
uncles. Yeah, I was and it's made me a little tougher and a little bit more rough around the edges, but it has not impacted like any of my sexuality.
No, it's made you like a great, well-rounded woman.
Thank you.
So, but my only point, I think you have an older brother. So,
Right.
without that,
But I remember.
would you buy like a your son like? Because I play with my sister's dolls. I have two older sisters, so
Right.
I would be in there, but I would make them fight and like I would
Right.
do like rough things like
Like I remember
or
one
they're-
time, Lily had she would always play dress up,
Mm.
and I remember one time my nephew went in her little heels and was like walking around in the little heels, like
stop it, get it up, put it on. Like,
Right.
What did you do, Chris? Did you see that?
I don't even think I was there for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one time I was
Woo.
visiting. It was, but it's I guess because it was there.
Right. Yeah, that's something because it's there. Like I think I've done dress up things because it's there, and I'm trying to be cool. One of the funny things I actually heard a comedian say it is I wore my towel up here for a long time.
Yeah.
When you have it tied up here. It's like I didn't know. Like I would just see them come out. And I was like, I put my towel up here. I had no idea. Do my dad told me.
Dry your hair and put
No,
the towel
I didn't.
on your
I
hair?
didn't. I didn't go
on
that far, but I definitely did that. I definitely sat down to pee for a very long time because I would always. I would.
Damn, JD.
Listen,
That's a whole shit.
I would always be with them, right? I would I would just follow what they did. Like they would just come into the bathroom, and like we all kind of grew up like sharing the same bathtub, and like I would just do what they did. So it was like
Right.
So my dad didn't see it. So until he started like, hey, and my dad's a very old school man. Like he literally almost disowned me because I wanted to get earrings. So and he was like, hey, you get them earrings, boy, we ain't gonna be the same. That's what he told me.
Right. Yeah.
But of course he loved me through it. Like he was.
Yeah.
Like,
You got the earrings?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Got two.
You got two.
And guess who did them?
Of course.
And guess who did them?
He did?
My mama.
Oh, yeah. Come on, mama.
She was like, boy, you getting them in. Come on in here. You're going to get these earrings.
See?
And
There you go.
So it was a little turmoil, but we made it through. But anyway, back to this list. I like to talk about some of those things because a lot of these things are just societal constraints. All right. Another reason why it's okay for a man to cry is when he proposes to the woman and she says yes, or proposes to a woman, she says yes on proposal. So that's all we're doing
Did you
for
cry
now.
during your proposal?
I choked up, but I held it together. It was more about them. I think I'm going to cry at the wedding, which is the next one. is crying at the altar.
Yeah.
So, and again, Almost is here. He's actually helping out behind the scenes, and he actually gave us that show. But they actually discussed it on their show just now.
Tune in to Fired Up. Tune in to Fired Up Thursdays. They're the homies. They're the family. We love them.
Right.
Fired Up Broadcasting. We have Fuel and Almost here, so they gave us.
Well,
I have a question that I brought up right before we got on air.
Okay.
This was this idea of your last name, right? We talked about like my parents in the Latin culture.
Martinez.
Martinez. In the Latin culture, you take on when you marry, you take on the man's last name, and then the woman keeps her maiden last name as a secondary last name for the children. So technically, my name would be Kaidi Martinez Marquez. That would be my name if we were in Colombia, right?
I'm confused.
It would be my dad's Martinez.
Right.
My mom is Marquez.
So right now it's supposed to be mom, then dad at the end.
No, it's supposed to be dad, then mom at the end.
Yeah, it's never that way, JD.
It's never. You made that up.
Well, because here, like in America, you just take the man's name.
Right. So that's my question. Because how would you feel if Anna decided not to take your last name, or she wanted to hyphenate it? Or do you care? How important is it to take on the last name? Because for me, I'll go first, and I'll say as a woman that I want to keep my last name. I want to keep Martinez. I want to keep that, and I want to hyphenate whatever etc. name comes after.
Excuse me.
Fuel Martinez. Martinez Fuel.
Here in America. This is
Me and Fuel have something to tell you guys.
It's all Stevens. It's all Kai Stevens. Right? So we ain't no to skip all the extras.
But for me, that's important because my first name is not Latin.
Mm-hmm.
And I now would feel like that's part of my heritage. So I want to keep that. I don't want to be Kaidi Smith because then I lose all my
But it's still
essence.
there.
No.
Yes, it is. My mom still has her maiden name. It's still Honoré. If they ask, hey, Honoré, we see our family.
No, but I want you to say my name.
Okay.
Say my name. Say my name.
Listen. This is what these young boys have to deal with right now. The game has changed. Like women out here, like I'm a person too.
But like Jada Pinkett Smith.
But I think that happens when women have a career.
Jennifer Aniston.
And they have established their name on their own. So I think that's where it comes. So all of you regular females out there, relax. And I say regular with love. I just mean if you have not established a name and you're not on Disney products with your name, then it's best to just go with what happens in America and just go with the last name.
But how do you guys feel like that?
I guess I don't really care. To be honest, I do care. I don't really love my last name just because I know it comes from some slave name or some slave owner. So, I don't really love it to that extent. But I do know that, just being the father of my now son who has my last name and just carrying on that family name, I feel like is just something that I've always kind of been destined to do in a sense.
Right.
So I think for that reason I would want to, but if Anna was against it, I wouldn't argue that much. Like, keep your name, it's fine. Do what you want.
Oh, okay.
But I want to do my name only. So I'll say that and then make her take my name.
Would you take on her name?
No, we're not doing that. That's just no.
Or would you
we need
hyphenate?
a sound for that? No, that's not. No.
You know,
I would not hyphenate. Would you ask your man to hyphenate? Is it going to be? It's going to be Fuel Martinez.
Fuel Martinez.
Stevens. Oh no, just because you're next to her. Chris, what do you think?
Well, I'm from a family of strong women. So
no, he's already.
No, for real.
He's already there.
He gave in.
I mean, I'm not hyphenating.
Right. Okay.
Do my name.
Thank you.
You do whatever you want with yours.
Right. Right. You haven't seen Mrs. Martinez's look yet. You don't understand.
I grew up with that.
Right? I didn't even have direct conversation. I just saw the heat from the waves of like when she was looking at Kai.
The funny thing is, growing up, whenever my mom would be, gossiping, chit-chatting on the phone, with my grandma and everybody, my brother and I would be, my brother and I would be running around acting crazy, and all of a sudden my mom would be like, "One moment, please." And she would turn and look at us, and she'd be like,
on the podcast later, she's making faces.
I'm making faces
at
the camera.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it would just be dead silence, just the dead silence you just heard, and we would be like, "No." And so we would try to be so good until she was done with her conversation. Hopefully she would forget that we had messed up.
Right. No.
Or she would be like, I'm going to tell your dad.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No. Right.
that
So,
was bad.
Big guns.
right.
Yeah, my dad looks really sweet and cute over there. He's really great. But growing up, my dad was like Michael Myers.
Right.
he would grab the belt and do this slow motion walk.
Yeah.
And we would just be running. Like my brother and I would be running around the house.
Y'all were allowed to run? This is ridiculous.
No,
Listen,
we
that
were
is-
allowed.
That is death. That
We
is
would
death.
just run somehow, like Michael Myers. He would always catch us,
Is that,
and he would always
so let's
get the whooping.
spend a little time there on spanking. Who did your mom ever spank? Did she ever
Yeah.
get in there?
Oh yeah, but she was like, cute with it.
don't disrespect them spankings, right?
No, they were official. They were
Okay.
official spankings. They were official.
Because I know my dad had a very he was like Michael Myers. It was very calm.
Yes.
It was very he'll lay you on the bed, put your hands behind your back, and put his knee on your hands, and wow, wow, it was very traditional. It was like you knew how it was gonna happen.
Right.
Exactly.
It was choreography.
And that made but first you would sit there and you would get your preaching because he was a preacher, and he would I don't like to do this. Now it's because I love you and I want you and it would be very calm and the whole time just do it so. But my mom was like a whirlwind of hate and evil and everything and then you wouldn't even see her coming. It would just be I don't know. And then you wake up what did I say?
A little tumbleweed.
Don't you ever say you don't know to me? What? I'm sorry. It was like a shock.
Yes.
And shout out my mama. She was such she's like your mom. She's a very sweet lady.
Yes.
You wouldn't even know she's mad. That's why I was such a
right. I know. Now you see my parents. They're sweet. They're the sweetest people.
Right.
Growing up, it was like,
right. So
but we were also bad kids.
How were their spankings? Your dad was Michael Myers. Mom was.
My dad was Michael Myers.
Was she a little out of control, or was it?
I think we're just emotional women.
Yeah.
Women were emotional, or
Yeah.
don't at me.
The belt would hit the neck. Everything everything.
Mom
was
was she was more of a hands-on person.
Okay.
She didn't quite. It was just more like she just kind of had to do it. That's how it felt like, Mom.
Right.
Though I'm not gonna put words in your mouth.
Right.
Mom's like,
she's
that
looking.
dinner's gonna be awkward.
No, look, I'm looking straight at the camera like this. I don't want to look over.
And it was very. I mean, looking back on it, these are my memories. My
Yeah.
dad was more of the enforcer. My mom was more she would be more the talker.
Right.
She would talk. When Chris and I were talking about this recently too. One thing that was really dope about our upbringing was that our parents made us talk it out all the time,
That's a good quality.
and we hated it because we'd be like,
hated it.
they'd be like,
now
hug
both-
it out. We'd be
and
like, no.
And have y'all both since said thank you to your parents for giving you that lesson yet? Can we have that moment right now, please?
Thank you, Mom.
Because both
Dad.
of y'all are some emotionally responsible people.
Yeah.
Right?
Now you made me cry.
No.
No, my dad's crying.
Dad's
Oh, man,
crying.
it's gonna sound bad.
Dad is crying. Every parent needs that moment where you got to just say, you know what? I really
Yes.
appreciate that y'all did that because now I am a functional adult.
Yes.
And you see all the dysfunction in the world today. People can't express themselves. They can't
Right.
talk about their things. And that's all from the Martinez's.
We're just gonna let him have
And
that.
and our next generation, like Lily and my niece and nephews, they're like super mature and they have
Right.
great head on their shoulders.
You just saw her, and when we interviewed her, she's like a grown woman.
Yeah.
So Chris, on the spankings, who got it more? Did you get it more? I know
Between
you're gonna
Katie
say,
and I?
yeah.
Please.
She's over here with the sweet face.
Please.
Did you take any unnecessary whippings for her? Did you save her in any way? No.
Save me.
Like enough. I took enough. I'm like, you're gonna get that L.
Right.
I got enough.
Right, as you should.
Right.
As you said. And who did you prefer, mom or dad?
Ooh.
Please, that's easy, Mom.
To get a whooping from?
Listen,
Yeah.
can we get a camera on dad? Like we got to get these faces. I don't know. Are y'all okay? Because he looks so sweet, and I'm like, no, not that guy.
Yeah.
That guy was never mean to
He had
anybody.
like a cricket pitcher pose and everything. It was like all professional.
Yeah.
Toes pointed.
Yeah. Yo, funny story. One time I dove underneath the dining room table. Because we were like little roaches. We just
Right.
like scattered whenever my dad
Scattering
came around.
stuff. Yeah, this is scattering.
So I jumped underneath the dining room table, and then my dad from like outside the table. He it was like Indiana Jones.
Right.
He had a leather belt, and he swung it, and the joint whoa, it snuck into the table, and it touched me on the leg, and for me to get out of whippings, I used to scream at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
What?
And I would exaggerate.
Did these work? Hold up.
Yeah.
Did they?
Oh, they
No, he was hating it. Chris was hating it. Oh,
I would be like, no, Adrian. And then my mom would be like, okay, stop it.
That is hilarious.
Great times.
I've even heard these stories.
Right.
Like my
really
dad will
does.
tell me, he'd be like, when I was a kid and I got in trouble, my dad whipped me and I just be like, and she's like, take it. And then he'd be like, and then Katie over here would be like, woohoo.
Yeah. Well, I sound like Michael Jackson, apparently.
Katie would arch each of her backbone.
Yeah, right. She's always been the drama queen.
Yes.
So
Yes,
Like that.
I have.
now you're hearing it. This is what I have to deal with all the time. I was like,
Wait till we get your family.
no, right? I
Let's go.
was listening back to the battle the other day, and we did the coin flip, and we were flipping to see who won, and then she won, and she was like, "No, I don't want to go first. I'm just picking to see who goes first." I was like, my sisters used to do that to me all the
Katie
time.
was always
They
like
would
that growing up.
they would get it and flip it, and you'll be like, "Wait, that's not fair. How you making up new rules?"
Right.
Now I know.
Because
It's
you're
because
my,
of these people
you're
over
my
here.
LA brother.
They let you get away with it.
Yes, we let
That's why.
But so okay, even with the spanking thing,
Mhm.
you've chosen not to spank your kids.
What?
right,
No
Chris?
beatings?
No, I got
Right.
spankings.
What?
I got spankings.
Nah.
Or you've chosen
not
not
the
to,
traditional
not
spankings
traditional,
that we
not
grew up with.
traditional
You
spanking.
got
Because
popped.
sometimes you need a good
You got popped.
skoomska.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got popped. You probably didn't get a spanking.
My dad was like the hand person, and my mom had like a shoe, and she ninja star it, and it somehow hit me every time. It was
on.
little things she could find.
Well, how has that been for you, Chris? How has you're now raising your children? How have you chosen, or how has that changed for you?
It's just different, I grew up with it, and with my children and their mom, we've decided to not go that route, to be more speaking, talking to them and explaining. There are some times though where I get that and I'm like, let's talk about decisions. So
Right.
Which I found it works great. I mean, I think
Right. Do
Fuel.
y'all spank?
Yeah, Fuel and I had this conversation. Fuel is definitely a spanker. I'm not, and it's because I was
had to do it once.
I was the bad kid. I got
gotta
spanked
do it
like every
one
other
time
day.
just to let her know that I would do it. That's all.
Right.
Right. You got to instill the fear.
But you
Had
still
that
were.
fear in her, she wouldn't do it.
But yeah, but you were still saying that you would. You still agree with it, and I'm more of I'm more of the mindset. It's just I still feel like it's a little bit more of a slave mentality in a sense, and not because my parents I got whooped all the time, and it's because I did dumb things, and I can't remember anything that I learned from the spanking.
Mhm.
I just remember don't get caught, right? And so I just found out how to not get caught. So
Right.
I choose to kind of explain, kind of like Chris mentioned, and just kind of get on their level and understand. I was a kid once too, and I did this dumb thing once too, and let me explain why it didn't work out, right?
Right.
And I try that, and so I haven't gotten to a point where I had to spank yet, and I just
Let's pray you never get there.
yeah, right. I just think it was obviously our parents did what they had to do. They did what they learned, and they did what worked for them, and I think
Right.
it made us great parents or great people. But I think now as people, we're a little bit more aware of self-awareness. We're a little bit more self-aware. We're a little bit more of our mental health and and how to kind of cope with our own things as opposed to just getting mad or saying no. It's more of a hey, let's have a conversation. Which your parents sound like they actually had that too.
Yes.
But it's traditional, and
Yeah.
you grow up doing it, and you never really stop to think, is this right or is it wrong? Is it helping?
Right. I mean, it's what you know, right? So
Right.
if that's what the tradition was up until this point, in in Latin culture, Colombian culture, and,
Yeah.
and
Black
I would say
culture,
our family's
yeah.
culture, that was
Everybody's
traditional.
culture,
Like
yeah.
I know, I've heard stories where my parents went to school and they were, they would hit them in school and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So if they're doing it at that level,
Yeah, I
to
got paddled
discipline
in
you,
school. Does that show
Right.
how old I am? Damn.
yes, if they're doing it that, it just shows it's not something that's coming from a malicious place.
Yeah, of
and
course
things
not.
like
No,
that,
it's never,
but.
it's never malicious. It's a
But
choice.
it's nice to that as we grow and evolve, we start to learn and we start to see okay, there's different alternatives.
There's different alternatives. Yeah, So it was once I remember my dad took me to well, we call it the country, but it's Clinton, Louisiana. And he took me out there, and every like spiritual person that we know all laid hands on me, and they tried to pray the devil out of me.
Why? What were you doing?
I don't know. I
Was
was just bad. I wasn't
expecting that.
I was like, you the exorcism?
I was just mischievous, yes. And I remember all their hands, Lord, let's take the devil, take the Satan out.
Oh my goodness.
They tried to rebuke the bad out of me, but look, let me explain. I just had a conversation with my mom recently, and I realized one of the things that I was doing, like I would like the feeling. She would get these little wax fixtures and wax like fruit, and I would bite them because I liked the way the wax felt in my teeth, right? and I would always bite it, and I remember I just liked the way it felt in my teeth. And I even thought about this about a month ago, that I was like, I used to love the way that felt in my teeth. Never did it ring that I was wrong. My mom told me to stop doing it.
Right.
It was just I like the feeling, and I wanted to do it. And so that kind of stuff made me bad. Like they would say, don't do this. They would get it again. I would bite it again. And I just would never learn the lesson. And so like, I don't know if they were not saying it right, but the whooping didn't really work. Like, right. And so they just thought, like, cause we're a religious family, they just thought it was the devil.
Right.
Nothing but Satan could be in this boy. So.
Well, question, as you've grown up, is that something that's always been a part of you? Like when you want to do something, you do it? Yeah,
kind of.
Right.
That's what my whole slogan for the company. I do what I want. That's like literally.
So with that being said, do you feel like, and it's a question for everybody, do you feel like spankings are effective?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they are. I think it brings fear, which I think has a place. But for me, obviously, I don't know from the Latin side of it, but for me, it felt like a slave mentality, because that's how you would treat a slave in a sense.
Right.
Like you learn to scare them, you learn to give them fear, and that's how you led. And I think a lot of parents, not only just for spanking, but a lot of parents do parent from fear. And it's not so much helping. It's your kids will listen because they're scared. They're afraid of you.
Right.
And I don't know if that's the reason for any spanking, but I think a lot of people who spank for that reason.
Oh, I feel like if I did spank, it would be out of frustration.
Right.
Like you're not listening to me, and now you gotta get out. Because I don't even care about instilling fear in you. I just, you need to stop what you're doing right now. That's how. If I've ever felt that desire as an aunt or as an older,
Oh, it's coming. One
it would
day.
Be, Oh, it's coming.
You want kids, right?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it's
soon.
coming.
Not too
it's
soon.
coming.
Soon. Fuel. How do you feel? Do you feel spankings are? Do you feel spankings are effective?
For my experience, yes. For one, is at the time. For one, when I was younger, it was because of being disrespectful, and it was more so to teach me respect.
Right.
You know what I mean? With my kids, it was kind of the same way. It's like you don't talk to your parents, of all people, a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? And sometimes they grow in an atmosphere now where they have no fear because they have people, child protection and whatever, blah blah blah, whatever.
Child protection.
Child protection services.
Whoa.
What is it called? Is that right?
That's called abuse, brother.
Child protection services.
I'm saying that basically when they have that to go back on, it's kind of like it's something.
Yeah.
We get you.
I'm gonna call the cops.
Yeah, but with me, it's kind of like with my daughter. I was kind of like, I don't care who comes or whatever, you're gonna get your ass whooped if you ever talk to me or act this way to me, period.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people miss that. That's why a lot of kids talk to their parents certain ways or whatever and get away with it, and then they end up out there in the streets doing other stuff.
He's saying a lot.
It's not their parents corrects them in a way that they don't expect to, and they're in the hospital or dead or whatever.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's true.
It has a spot. Basically, he agreed with that, and he said it came from at least the core of it is the whippings came from teaching you to respect, or how to respect your elders, respect your parents, things like that.
It's like people who have never gotten into a fight, who have never gotten beat up, or who have never been in that situation.
You always go to that.
Because people talk sometimes like they can never, like no one will ever smack you in the face,
right.
And so sometimes they talk a certain way or they carry themselves a certain way, that it's like, oh, you must have never got your butt beat.
Yeah.
Because if you had some sort of respect for that, for the consequences of physical consequence of the way you're acting right now,
Right.
you would not be talking to anybody that way.
Exactly. Chris, what do you got on that topic? What do you think?
Short-term answer, probably effective, right? Very effective because you stop the behavior.
Right.
Long-term answer, you never know what unintended consequences that may come up. I'm fortunate enough with my kids, they're not disrespectful to me, period. Like they don't ever say things out of line. We just have a very good relationship. But if we didn't, then as a parent, my job is to get you ready for the world, right?
Right.
So because I haven't had to flex that muscle, I don't see a need for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like you have to. Like she has a good head on her shoulders.
Wow, man, it's my baby girl.
I know, right? What do you think, Lily? You want more whippings or what?
Do you think whippings are effective?
Do you think?
Something at 4 years old, bringing all that shade.
No, because I still remember.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm not really a parent, so I don't have like all the experience.
No, we want to hear from you though.
But
we want to hear, hearing from you is actually a good perspective.
A young person who's living it right now.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess like in the short term, yeah, but like I think there should be other like alternatives to helping your child stop that behavior. And another thing is, if you like constantly install that fear, it's a lot harder to approach your parent. It's something like personal, like love life or something that's gone wrong or something you need help with. Like, it's a lot harder to approach them when like you have that respect, but you also have that fear. Like, what if I get a whooping for that? Or like, it just makes it a lot harder.
Right. Sounds like men with cheating. Actually, sounds like a man.
Why are you looking at my face though? Like, why did I get I got the Mrs. Martinez in my face right here?
Well, I have a question. I have a follow up to that with Lily. What do you feel about your parents that they've done that has allowed you to feel comfortable talking to them about personal things?
I guess like when I was younger, I did get popped, right?
There we go. Pops. Shout out to Pop.
I got scars.
Yeah, get popped.
I got scars. Anyway.
Oh my God.
I know.
Right. Child Protective Services is gonna be right outside. Their flag. Edit.
It's okay to pop. Popping is fine.
Yeah. For me, my parents are like really big in like talking, I guess. So like I'd like do something and I know I'd messed up and I'd just be like, hey, like I know I did this, and I'd still get in trouble, but they'd be like, don't do that again. Like this is what happens, and then if you do it again, then the consequences will be more severe. And I guess it's just really helped me like come forward stuff I've done wrong, because I know I am wrong and I will get punished, but I'm still comfortable with it.
Right. Do you guys feel like Chris and Kai? Do you feel like you guys were able to talk to your parents even though you had spankings? Like, did you feel a fear to come to them?
Yeah, there was a fear. I think there was a fear of just being I think more so than the spanking and stuff, it was a fear of disappointment. Yeah. I didn't want to disappoint my parents. I didn't want them to feel like I didn't want to be a disappointment. Yeah. And I remember one time I got cutting class, cutting school. The tea comes out. I got cut.
Look, they still mad at you about that. Yes. I remember that one.
And it was crazy. But all I did was just go to my friend's house and we were just like watching.
Sure, movies. You did. Let's go ahead and throw some horns on that. We'll get to that story one day later. The crazy part was I expected. So my dad showed up at my homegirl's house. Was it magical? Did he know what she was? Like my dad did some magical things. Like how did you even know?
Right. Well, that was a friend that lived by the school.
So he knew.
So he like that was his first place to check. So I was eating chips, like living my best life, and all of a sudden the door opens and it's my dad, and I was like, I literally did one of those like my mouth open, chip in the face, but like, oh my God, what's happening?
Chip drop. Did the whooping start immediately, or did you get home?
No, this is the crazy part. So first of all, one of my friends, she was like, I didn't cut class. I came here after school. I was like, all right, get out of here. And then so we get in the car. My dad's like, come on, let's go. And my dad's not a big like talker like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's even worse.
I know.
It's like say something.
Right.
Please, call me names. Come on. Why are you so quiet?
I sat in the back seat and he was driving and we get home He didn't say a word to me the whole ride. And we get home. I had just gotten a mini disc player for Christmas.
Not no more.
Not no more. He literally he just went to my room, took out the mini disc player, put it in my brother's room, which was like,
ooh, that's
fantastic,
harsh.
By the way. I had
That
all
was
the
great.
jams.
That was
Great move.
right. That was intense.
That's great.
And then he unplugged my Nintendo 64. He unplugged my TV. He just unplugged all
You
my
lost
electronics.
everything.
I lost everything. And then he just went into the room and closed the door.
Wow, that's a good one.
I had to sit there with all my just shame, anticipation of my mom coming home.
Oh.
And then when my mom came home, she like screamed at me and stuff.
Like, and then she re-hypes up the beast over here. Like,
Yeah.
why did you beat her? Why did you? Like, Mama, stop. Mama, calm down. He already dealt with me.
so yeah, it was crazy. But it was that feeling of like disappointment. So from that point on, I was like, okay, I just never want to disappoint them.
Yeah, my mom is actually watching, and if it wasn't for my kids, she would still think I was a virgin. So we don't really discuss anything. Like, but I would always tease because like I couldn't even have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no like maybe we could.
Right? Yeah.
No, like when Mama says something, that's what happens. Like,
Right.
and it wasn't no. Hey, I wanted to just maybe.
Right. Or like
No.
when the adults speak, the
Right.
children are quiet.
There was no conversation. So,
Yes.
we've had several moments where we've shared now, and we obviously
Yes.
have a great relationship now. But as a kid, like I was a kid, and I was treated like a kid who
Right.
had no experience, had no feelings, had no nothing. You're a kid. Stop it. Right. And so, that's what I do appreciate about the way, what Chris is talking about and how I parent now is it's more of a conversation.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't hold any ill will. It's just funny to think about. I didn't talk to them. Like I didn't
Right.
say anything. What about you, Chris? Did you feel the same way? Were you able to come to either of your parents?
About the mini disc player? What are we talking about?
About anything?
About
Just like,
anything.
did you like anything like personal or like, like your daughter was saying, like, your dating stuff or, anything like, did you feel hindered?
Well, I love my parents first and foremost, right?
Of course.
But with that, there was always like, how much of this can I tell you?
Right.
I'm gonna give you like the 20%. Like, I had a good day. That is all.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's normal, right? I think it's normal, but
Yeah.
I think as we kind of evolve as people and as parents, it gets better. Like just
Yeah.
like I think obviously, Lily is gonna feel more comfortable coming with you. She even said that. So
Right.
Coming to you about dating and different
Yeah.
things and
And
anything
now-
that I would say take from that little statement is just be open with your kids and remember that they do have to come to you at some point and ask you questions.
Right.
And if they can't, then they're gonna ask someone else, and you never know who that is.
That's right.
Right. And what I
So-
will say too is that I got a lot closer with my parents once I moved out here, and then even before that, even just going through like breakups and stuff.
Right.
Going through a breakup and being able to talk to my parents. My parents been married for like 40 years this
And
year.
she quotes her mom all the time.
I
My
do.
mama says, I'm like, oh, shut up, Kai.
Right, I
Mama
do.
said.
But it's like I have such a dope example of a relationship. So now that I'm older, we talk about a lot of things. I'll talk to them, be like, hey, I met this guy, and so
Right.
and they offer great advice. So
Of course.
and we'll have them on the show next week.
Yeah, and
So y'all can talk
but
to
with
them
all
too.
that said, spankings and no spankings, you're like, our parents did the best they could, and they were
Amen.
they knew what
Yeah.
they were doing, right? And they, it was just like they weren't perfect, they weren't always right, but I do believe that they still know they knew what they were trying to accomplish, right?
Right.
So they're still pillars in our lives. I still respect my mom. I still call her for advice. Shout out you, mama. I see you watching right now. I think you're
Shout
still
out,
in
mommy.
here. And yeah, and I honestly have no ill will. I think I had a great childhood, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of it is funny because a lot of it I can admit like that was kind of stupid.
Right.
Like,
And you know
I
what?
fed the dog washing powder. Like I
You
don't
know
I just
what
wanted
it
to see if he
is?
would
Oh
eat
my
it.
God.
I didn't
See,
know.
okay, JD's mom, I do not blame you for spanking him at all.
Yeah,
But
no
but
one
you
does.
know what? It's like when we're kids, we think our parents are like these mature, grown people.
Yeah,
And then you get to like the age, like I'm now older than my mom and dad were when they had me.
right.
And I'm like, yo, there's so
What?
many things
I know,
about
you're
me.
like what?
I know. I'm like, wait, what? Y'all had me? I'm still trying to figure out how to like do my
Right.
laundry. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out not to fade my blacks. Like
Right.
I'm just trying
That's
to figure out my life.
Crazy.
So to think about, people at having children at a young age, like we're all people too, and we're all still trying to figure it out. And I think when you're a kid, you don't see your parents that way. You see your parents as this like these things, these entities. And then when you get older, you're like, oh wait, my parents were kids too,
Yeah,
trying to figure it out.
exactly. Trying
You
to
know?
figure it out.
And you had a kid at kids at a young age, right, Chris?
Yeah, I I had Lily when I was 22. Well, I didn't have her, but I was there.
Yeah, so 3 years ago, right?
Right, 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
It's great. That's a clone, right?
Right.
So we're running out of time. Thank you guys for
yes.
hanging out. We are going to have this performance coming up in a second. But I did want to say thank you guys for hanging out. We obviously have Kai's family in the building, so we kept it very family oriented and just kind of had a little discussion about, how we were raised and bringing up. And next episode, which is our finale, I'm actually going to have my immediate family in the building. I may try to set up, Mom, if you listen, I may try to set up to have my family, tap in because they're all in Texas, and but I'm going to have my immediate family here, and we may have a little surprise for you. We're still working it out, but we're going to put that together.
It's going to be fun. Family episode, and
I'm excited. Are we setting up for this over there?
Yes, sir.
Kai, what do you have on that? Let me just
I'm looking forward to next week. Like I said, we have my parents are visiting, and they're a wealth of knowledge, not just in relationships and being adults, but being married for many years, health. They've been doing a lot of dope things with their health, and they've been revamping their whole situation. So I think they have a lot of wealth of knowledge. I know JD's family, we get a little insight into this crazy man's world,
right?
And the people that love him, and we love you guys too.
Everybody loves me. So let's just go ahead and make that clear, because there seems to be hatred here,
right? Accurate, true.
So yeah, I'm excited. We actually gonna dodge the bullet. We may not go as in depth in our drama as we just went in. Thank you, Martinez's, for see, it's a lot. That's why I just take the Marquez. Just take that. She has the harder look. We got to go with her name. You get hyphenated. So thank you guys for actually letting us kind of dig into your life a little bit and help other people that are listening maybe make some decisions and decide if they want to spank or not, and just see different things that work. We always talk about your parents because they have such a romantic, great relationship.
They dance every day.
The hour of dancing every day.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like I try to make time to just like watch a show with my girl, but to stop and like dance, that's a lot. All right. So I think we're all set for this performance.
Yes.
We're trying to work on I want you guys to put in the comments, like you've seen her when you see her sing, see if we can get her a stage name. I like Lily, actually.
I like Lily.
Right? And it's Elisa Martinez. We're going to go with Lily. Everyone, sit tight and listen to this amazing angel sing.
Okay, so just got a little introduction. All right. 3 little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete. Oh, maybe sometimes we got it wrong, but it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Ooh, don't you hesitate. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead and let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead and let your head down. Oh, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. 'Twas more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake, some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. When you're gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer. Do what you want to, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Oh, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
Woo! That's my baby! I'm in the dark now, but it doesn't matter because that's my baby. We here, y'all. All right, y'all. That's the show for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next week. We have a whole family episode.
Oh, sorry.
JD's flexing on me. Love you guys. Peace.
Peace.